Hey guys, welcome to Motivational Monday. Today we're going to be talking about what it means to be a good leader. And a lot of times you have people who think they're good leaders, but they're not. So I want to show you, go through a couple of things that I think are critical towards being a good leader. And being a leader isn't necessarily just a job title. While you do have leadership roles in your career, you also have leadership roles in your community, um, in different involvements, and just being a good leader overall. And even if it's like a class project or like my sorority does events, and we have different cohorts, or not cohorts, but activity groups that are focusing on different things. Um, Regardless of what it is that you're leading, if you're responsible for leading a project, a task, a team, whatever the case, I want to make you a better leader. And I want you to challenge yourself if you are in a leadership position in any facet. I want you to challenge yourself. And as I'm going through these different characteristics, ask yourself, am I a good leader? I've had to ask those questions of myself. So I've been in leadership positions um, in school. I've been in leadership positions in my sorority. I've been in leadership positions at work. I currently manage about 120 associates. That's definitely challenging um, with regards to, am I a good leader? I probably ask that question about once a week because there are moments where I have to sit back and reflect and say, okay, that wasn't the best decision that I could have made as a leader. I am responsible for these people. What am I doing that benefits them? So, the first thing I think you should do as a good leader is get in the habit of serving others. Even as a leader, you should be looking for ways to serve your people. What can you do to serve them? For example, when I was the front end assistant manager, I was also responsible. I was responsible for cashiers, customer service, um, cart pushers, maintenance, all, you name it. And with that, just about every other day, I was outside with the cart pushers, helping them push carts into the building. I would jump on the register whenever necessary. I would jump in at customer service and help with the processing of transactions. I don't let my title tell me that I'm too good to help. And what that showed my team was, A, she has our back. B, if we get overwhelmed, she's more than willing to step in without even being asked, simply because the need is there. And it honestly made them work a little bit harder because, like my cart pushers, they would work that much harder because they didn't want me to have to do it. But they knew that I would at any given point without it being an ask, simply because they just needed to get it done. And at the end of the day, how I look at it is, if you win, I win. If you fail, I have failed. And I'm not failing. So we got to do whatever we got to do to figure this out. So with that being said, I'm going to go out here and push these carts in. I hate manual labor. Hate it. I hate it. But I went out there and on a regular occasion, and push carts whenever necessary, simply because they needed support and backup. And I would jump on the register literally every day because the lines were there and the customers were waiting. You just got to do what you got to do. So finding ways to serve others. And that looks differently in different leadership environments, but I challenge you, how can you serve the people that you're leading? What can you do to make sure that they're taken care of? The next thing you can do is anticipate needs and plan ahead. Planning ahead is critical. There's nothing worse than a reactive leader. It's frustrating. It feels all over the place. You can't really keep up. And your people want to be led in a proactive manner. Hey guys, this is coming up. These are the steps that we're going to take to get ready for it. This is what we're going to do, as opposed to, oh crap, the moment's here. Let's figure this out. We got to get through it. We got to get through it. That's not fair to them. It's really not. So make sure that you're looking in the future. And if you can't see that far in the future, raise up someone who can. Empower them. Say, listen, I know that you're really good at seeing things 5, 6, 7 steps ahead. I want you to take responsibility. And if you see something coming ahead that we need to be focused on, bring it to my attention. I challenge you to bring that to my attention so that we can come up with a plan to work on it. You have to know what your strengths are, and you have to know what your weaknesses are. And those that are your weaknesses, it's okay for them to be your weakness because there's somebody on your team who does it well. I promise you. There's somebody on your team who can do it without even batting an eye. Empower them to help have your back. And it gives them a sense of ownership and a sense of responsibility and a sense of commitment to that team. Find out what your team's strengths and weaknesses are and embrace them. Embrace their strengths. Have them be the chairperson or the head person or the liaison or the lead of those areas that they're strong in. The areas that they're weak in, give them the tools and the resources to improve. Because your team is a reflection of you. If your team is successful, you have done your job. If your team is struggling and incohesive and not working together and frustrated, that's a reflection of your leadership. So you have to take a moment and say, okay, what can I do about it? How can I fix this? How can I embody their strengths and help them improve their weaknesses? Motivate others to be their best. And you can't do that by constantly nitpicking or constantly tearing them down or frustrating them or working them too hard, honestly. You have to know what people's limits are and you have to push them just a little bit further. Just a little bit further and hold them to a high standard. But if you tell them your expectations up front, give them the tools and resources and knowledge to be able to meet those expectations, they'll gladly meet those expectations every single time. Because you told them what you expect. You've empowered them to be able to meet those expectations. They want to do it at that point. They want to do it. And they want to give you their best. And they want to be the best person they can for your team. And you have to, as the leader of your team, you have to protect your team. That's it. That's all. Protect, protect, protect because they deserve it. They do. If you're their leader, there are moments where you just have to take it for the team. You know what? It's on me. I'll handle it. I'll make sure it's taken care of. You should never belittle your team in public. You should hold them accountable in private. But if somebody on your team drops the ball, you drop the ball. That's it. That's all. Now, you can have a private accountability conversation with them and say, listen, I took this heat for you. However, this cannot happen again. But that's a conversation you have in private. There's nothing worse than someone bringing something to your leader's attention and them saying, oh, well, that was on so-and-so. I had nothing to do with that. No. If that's your team, it's you. They're a reflection of you. Point blank, period. But find solutions more than problems. If there is a problem, come up with a solution. It's really that simple. As opposed to constantly focusing on, this is a problem, this is a problem, this is a problem, this is a problem. Okay, what are you doing about it? This is a problem, but this is my issue, but this is what I'm willing to do about it. This is the plan I have in place to fix that. This is how I know it's not going to be a problem moving forward. What is the solution? Don't just complain. Don't just present problems. Find a solution. I actually want to hear what you think a good leader is. Tell me an example of one of the best leaders you've ever been under and someone that you've been proud to be a part of their team. I want to know what made them a great leader in your eyes. So go ahead and put that in the comments. Definitely, I want to spark that conversation. I want to hear from you guys what makes a good leader in your view. All right, thanks, guys.